Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, being Louisa. So today's video is something that I've been asked multiple times, and it is preparation. Like, what should I do for the first year? What should I read? What should I buy? What should I do this? What should I that? And I'm like, okay, let's sit down and have a real talk, because I feel like it doesn't matter how much prep you do, you probably will not feel like it's enough. But here are a few tips and tricks to help you feel like you're semi-prepared for first year. So first off, if you go over to my midwifery Q&A, which I will link up here, you'll see that I had put a few books in the description. Actually, I might just copy them over, but we'll see. So there's some books that you could buy if you wanted to buy some books. If you don't really want to spend the money on the books, because you know majority of them will be in your library when you get to university, just wait until you get your uni card, go to your library and take those suckers right out. That's what I did anyway. But yeah, so you can do that. You can have those books. There were a few books though that I did actually buy just to give myself a heads up and to understand more what midwifery is, what it consisted of, and stuff like that. First up is this midwifery dictionary. It's small but mighty. It has a whole bunch of words in here that we use on placement, also diagrams as well, things that are really helpful for a first year. Someone come in who's like, whoa, I have no idea what's going on. This was super helpful for me. I definitely was flipping to it during my access course as well, trying to figure out certain words and what certain things mean, and it's really cool that there's a whole dictionary just for midwifery words. There are actually multiple out there, so pick whichever one that you like. Some people do suggest ones over the other. I just personally like that one, so that's why I got it. Another small but mighty book is the Midwife's Pocket Formulary, which is so good. It's one thing I've always been worried about, and something that I'm definitely going to work more on this summer is medicines management. So this book is really helpful. It tells you, it has clear ways of doing drug calculations. Then also it just tells you like every single medication. So what's really cool is that on the contents page and throughout the book basically, it's sectioned off into different things such as analgesia, antacids, antibiotics, anticoagulants, anticonvulsives. So stuff like that, it's split off into that way, and it tells you all the main ones that are used in midwifery and what they're called and what group they're in, the use / indication for it, the type of drug, so if it's like a prescription only medication or midwife's exemption, the dosage, the route, the contraindications and the side effects, and then like so on and so on and so on, and like risk, the fetal risk and breastfeeding risk. So basically it's like the BNF but much simpler to navigate, trust me. This is a really good book. Then we move on to these two small books, which actually is I think a 5-part series. So I got basics and postnatal. Well, I knew I was going into community, so I thought I'd get postnatal. So these are the two ones that I have. They also have antenatal and labor, and these are really, really good. It tells you the basics basically of midwifery and what you will be doing in the placements and the assessments you need to do basically. So in the basics one, it has communication, hygiene and infection control, blood pressure measurement, temperature measurement, pulse and respiration, collection of specimens, urine analysis, venipuncture, neonatal blood tests, administration of medicines, and administration of injections and surgical care. So that's a whole lot just in the basics. And then in the postnatal care, it has postnatal care principles and practice, care of the baby at birth, examination of the newborn, hospital postnatal care, post-operative care following a cesarean section, postnatal care in the community, emotional well-being following birth, fertility control, advice after birth, and supporting the mother to feed her baby. Those are such helpful things, and trust me, this book was really helpful. As you can see, I was reading it in first year. So those books were really, really helpful. I bought those before starting first year, and they kind of like helped me think, okay, I not know what to do, but like I understand it a bit more. I think that was always my goal, and it still is always my goal, is to understand it a bit more. It's never to be like, yes, I know everything. It's always, okay, I think I know a bit more about this, and I think I know a bit more about this, and I think I know a bit, not even I think, it's like I know a bit more about this, and I know a bit more about this. And eventually I want to go from like, I think I know what I'm doing, to, yeah, I know what I'm doing, however, I know when to ask for help. That's kind of like my goal. And then last but not least, the last book that I would suggest you buy, which you'll see that this one is actually from the library, is Spiritual Midwifery by Ina May Gaskin. They have some really lovely birth stories in here, and then there's a section for mums, and then near to the end / halfway through there's a section that says instructions to midwives, and it tells you some really cool things about labor and delivery, about antenatal, postnatal, breastfeeding, but in layman's terms, in a really cool way. So I really like this book, and I would suggest you would buy this book because it is just such a good read and it's really cool. If you're not into, like, I remember when I first read it, there was bits of it I was like, it's a bit like, not hippie, but it was a bit like out there. Some of the births, some of they talk about energy transference, but now I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, not completely, but I'm like, okay, I get it. And some of the birth stories in here are just really cool, and it makes you go, okay, wow, like, women's bodies are amazing. So yeah, that's a really good thing to read. As you can see, they're not massive textbooks, because I personally don't think you should buy a massive textbook to begin with if you don't have a history of healthcare or of like science or anything, because some of those words will just confuse you or you'll be like, I don't quite understand. But if you're up for the challenge, then you should buy a massive textbook if you want, go through it, so that then, and make notes, so that then when it comes to first year and you go to your lectures, you can be like, oh, I know that word, or oh, I know that word, or oh, I know, I've read this somewhere. And then that can, some of your lectures can help to fill in the gaps, which is a cool thing when you're like, oh wow, okay, I understand this now. So those are some of the books that I would suggest. I would also suggest going onto your uni website and seeing if there's like the modules that you would be studying, so you can do maybe some research on those modules. And then also just take a deep breath and realize, like, I'm not going to know everything, and that's okay not to know everything, and it's okay to be lost as long as you try to anchor yourself to something and you go, all right, I may feel lost or I may feel a bit overwhelmed right now, but I'm going to write this down, how I feel, and then also what's going on in this situation, so that then later on you can try and ask your mentor some questions, or if at uni, just try and ask some questions to your lecturer, or go home and do loads of research on that situation that happened, and try and like then dissect everything that happened, like how you was feeling, what was going on, and then do research on it all, or ask questions basically, so that then you can help to learn more and understand everything that goes on and why people make the decisions that they make in that time, so that then next time you'll be more prepared for that. But yeah, so I hope these tips and tricks, it's mostly like what books I read to prepare, but the end little tips and tricks, I hope they kind of help you in your preparation, and just knowing that it's okay to be a little bit lost and it's okay to feel a little bit overwhelmed, because it's midwifery. This is a hard career we're going into. Like, it's okay. But yeah, so until next time, keep on being you. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment down below with any questions or suggestions, and don't forget to subscribe to get weekly updates. Bye y'all.